Thanks, everyone. All right, well, this is something I wrote. It's about Napoleon Bonaparte. He's one of history's most interesting people, in my opinion. So this is a story about his life. I'm going to give you the first segment of it, and this is from his perspective. A person is guided by their passions, and one of my passions is power. I love power, but it is as an artist that I love it. I love to bring out its strings and its chords and its harmonies. French soldiers poured down the Corsican mountainside and seized control of my island home. I grew up in an occupied nation, sovereignty seized by a ruthless empire. And back in France, the people yearned for equality as the aristocrats grew fat with privilege. Now you might wonder how a boy growing up on such a small island might come to know the love of power. Indeed, until age 9, I would enjoy the island lifestyle, swim in the sea, and enjoy the beautiful mountains. I was the second of 8 children. I always bossed around my siblings, even my older brother, who, despite being much taller than me, I could beat him pretty good when the occasion called for it. But my father was a shrewd man, and in a trip to Paris, he found me a school to attend. So at my parents' urging, telling me that this was the best opportunity they could give me, the best they could do for their son, I was sent to Paris, off to France, the nation that conquered my nation, without knowing a word of French. But I learned quick. I did well in school and found myself in the military academy. And there I would walk through the grand halls and study in the beautiful, elegant libraries. I'd see the same people again and again every day for years. I learned how to use the artillery, how to be an officer, and came to despise the undeserved privilege granted to the nobility. And it was at this time that over-speculation on only investments caused a massive recession. And that, with all the inequality in the country, caused many people to get very mad. First there were hundreds and thousands and millions going out into the streets. Imagine Paris overflown with peasants screaming for equality, the end of privilege, and the end of the monarchy. And then the guillotines were rolled out, and the heads of aristocrats and generals, peasants, and even the king himself were cut off at the orders of the bloody revolutionary, Robespierre. He, too, found himself to that fate of the guillotine. The reign of terror was over, but things were not good for France. The old order of monarchs declared war on our revolutionary republic, seeking to end us. Led by the British, there was fierce fighting, mostly coming from Austria and Germany and Italy. I was out of the military academy, ready to fight on the front lines for glory. But I was sent to work in Paris, so my days were filled with tedium. But at least in the evening I could enjoy the nightlife. And there I met Josephine. Her long, beautiful hair, her elegant dress, her sweet voice. That moment that I met her would be sublime if she hadn't totally ignored me. But persistence would pay off, and fondness would turn to love. And her connections from a previous marriage, she was widowed, her husband killed in the Reign of Terror, landed me in Italy. But there, arriving, I found her to be a total mess. The officers mocked me. They called me the little corporal. They said I was there because of a woman. I had to prove them wrong. So I found a makeshift stage and I spoke out to the soldiers. "Soldiers!" I yelled out. "Your persistence and courage are admirable, but they procure you no glory, no honor. I seek to lead you to the most fertile plains in all of the world. There, great provinces, rich cities shall be within your power. There you will find glory, power, and riches." And as I left the stage, one of the officers who had mocked me turned to the other and whispered, "I don't know why, the little bastard scares me." The first battle with the Austrians was brutal. They were better trained and better equipped. But I used the land to my advantage. I placed the cannons up on the hilltop so they could fire down upon the Austrians. Everything came down to the artillery. And when the battle started, it was as brutal as I thought it could have been. And I noticed one of the cannons starting to waver. So I ran over there and started handing off more cannonballs and readjusting the aim. Austrian musket fire and cannonballs flew all around me, but I didn't so much as flinch. To die for your passions is nothing to fear. And then I heard cries coming from the Austrian side. I didn't know a single word of German, but I could hear the terror in their voices. They were retreating. The battle was won.